Everyone, it's Steph here from the Novelty Corner and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is a bit of housekeeping. I am actually going through my Kindle and sorting out and organizing the books that I've read into one of my mini folders. If you've seen any of my Kindle organizational videos before, I have a lot of folders, and once I read a book, I like to go through and sort them. So I have a stack of unread folders, which is the one that you can see me in right now. I'm just going through and seeing if there's anything that I've read that needs to be added to a read folder. I have a stack of romance folders organized by genre, but also subgenre. And then, yeah, also other unread folders, and then just other general fiction sort of folders. So it's something I try and do every couple of months just because it helps keep that space organized. I only use the folders on the iPad version of my Kindle app. I just find that it's easier to view this way. It's also a good way to keep track and to sort and organize lists of things that I want to read. For me, it's just a visual. And then I always have to go in and sync everything because I always get to listen and go, actually, I've read that. Why isn't that coming up as read in my folders? In a second, you're going to see that I end up in one of my other unread folders. So I attempted to start saving books according to page length because sometimes I just want really short books, and sometimes I organize them into long books, mostly because I procrastinate the long books. But as I'm going through here, you're going to see that I eventually end up clearing a few of the page count unread folders just because I don't need them. I'm keeping the short ones. Short ones, I always want to know when something is short because sometimes you just want to pick up something that's not going to take very long to read. But yeah, I'm supposed to stay on top of things, but I generally don't. So that's why there's a video. This actually whole process took me about 20 minutes. I was doing it while I was watching TV and yeah, just recording the process. So I did in 2022 start keeping unread 2022, 23, 24 folders, so books that I acquired. I don't necessarily stick to them, but sometimes there's just a few books that I know I pick up in those years, and I'm like, you bought those for a reason. Put them in that folder so that you know that you bought them for a reason and they don't get lost in the general unread folder. And then we go through, there's an Aussie folder, that's just Australian author folder. Can't remember what I was doing here. I must have gone, oh, I know what it was because the book didn't turn up as marked as unread, excuse me. I'm trying to film this voiceover after a day of presenting, so I don't have much of a voice left, unfortunately. So yeah, I'd be really interested in knowing if you organize your Kindle folders or your ebook storage in any particular way. I just like lists, and I suppose that's why I have them that way. And like if there's something I have a lot of, like paranormal romance or hockey romance or stuff like that, I tend to group them together. It's because if I'm going to do any sort of project or reading project, or October, I tend to read a lot of paranormal romances. I want to see what I have at a glance so I can just grab them and go straight to them. And because I'm a very highly visual person, I like having the colored covers for the books. That just makes me a very happy camper. I really do need to come back to my sci-fi romance collection. I do have some books in there. It's been a while since I've been in the sci-fi romance mood. Then this was my unread The Amazing Readathon TBR, so I'm literally just adding all of these books back into my general unread folder and deleting the collection because I don't need it anymore. That readathon is done. I was freaking out that if I deleted the folder that I'd delete the books. No, I wouldn't. So in the end, I just moved the books, sorry, and then deleted the folder, and it just saved my moment of panic. That's the kind of personality that I have. And then this is the uncollected folder. So whenever your books get added to the Kindle, they just go in an uncollected folder. And so I just decided to go through and organize where I wanted them. I do have a Kindle Unlimited folder. I don't know why, it doesn't really make any difference, but here I am just going to put all of them in that folder so I can look at them at a glance. And there's a stack of red books in this uncollected folder. I have been fairly good at reading some of the books that I have acquired this year straight away or fairly close to acquiring them, but you know, based on the other number of books that I have acquired recently, yeah, I still have a long way to go. Now, that Keanu Reeves book, I'm really interested in reading. I'm hoping to read it sooner rather than later because I'm very, very intrigued. If there's any actor that I have a lot of time for, it's Keanu Reeves. And here I'm just collecting all of my general romance and general fiction and popping it into the general unread folder. And then the rest of them, I think, are either paranormal or hockey romances that need to be sorted, or they're red books that need to be categorized properly. So yeah, over the years, I found the system is just something that works very effectively for me. And then when I do have time to go in and sort it all out, it gives me a sense of organization on a device that has a lot of books. Because I've said this before, having lots of books on my Kindle doesn't freak me out, but I do like to know what's in there. And this is a great visual way for me to sort of keep track of things and go, oh, yeah, remember I had that. So, yeah, you're getting a sneak peek of either books that I have read and talked about very recently or books that I have read recently but haven't talked about yet. Although, hopefully, by the time this video goes out, I've talked about most of them. Some of these have been really great, like Follow Me to the Yew Tree, that book. Oh my gosh, that was a favourite when I read it. That was perfect timing for reading that book. And same with Sanctuary. It's just been utterly delightful to go back to Alona Andrews' world, as it always is. So yeah, this process doesn't take a heap of time and it appeases me and makes me happy. I probably do need to do a very big clear out of folders and sort of some reorganization over time. I'm not too fussed about it because, systems change and evolve as you use them. And I set this up a very long time ago. I think it might have even been Izzy from Happy for Now who got me onto this, but it mostly works. So I'm not going to complain. Now, I find it hilarious though. So you can see a stealthy situation on the page, which I have read recently, and I've returned that on Kindle. It's been returned at this stage for about 5 days, and it takes forever for some of my Kindle books to disappear off my device on my app. They're off the actual Kindle, but yeah, they haven't disappeared from my visual library yet. Well, that's okay. And this is where you see me going through and just taking things out of the 300 plus category. Because I'm like, well, that's a standard length of a book. Why do I have a separate folder for that? I just want short books in a folder and yeah, putting everything back into the unread folder just to make it easier to track. So yeah, this is just some housekeeping. I don't know how interesting it was or how, helpful my narration is because I've just been rambling on for 9 minutes. But as I said before, I'm really curious in how people organize their digital books and what system works for them and how you keep track of all of these things. I could make a list. I'm not going to because that list would be absolutely useless for me because I am such a highly visual person. So this actually works the best for me. And also, I think I forgot to say the 3 books that I kept in the uncollected folder are arcs or review titles that I've received. Oh, and here I'm just flipping through how many books I've read and some of the stats, which I never look at. I know some people do, but I never, ever look at the stats. So I was very curious and yeah. So that's it from me. We're going to end there on this little note. In the comments, feel free to share your system or what works for you. Otherwise, I hope that wherever you're in the world, just staying safe and healthy. And I will see you guys in another video very soon. Thanks so much for watching. Bye, everyone.